Hi guys, it's Jake here at Canadian Cutting Edge, and this is Miscellany Monday. I have 3 things to show to you today. Each one will just take a couple minutes. Just miscellaneous stuff that I've gathered recently or the last 5-6 months from GearBest. They're available just about anywhere, but I'll provide links for GearBest to get some of these things. And, well, without further ado, let's get started. First is this little no-name item right here. It is a fire kit, and it's 91 cents US. It comes to you empty. It's just a little container, and inside the container is, actually before we get inside the container, on the outside of the container you've got 3 sides that are steel, and then you've got this side here, and that's a little ferro rod that is built into the plastic, glued into place or whatever. You take this stick out, and it has some cotton in there, and it has a striker as well, and this is what you do. You take the striker across the ferro rod, and you've got fire. That's all it takes. Inside you put some lighter fluid, and this has got a nice little O-ring on it, and so it stays sealed up. I've been waiting to do this because I've been testing. I've had this here for 6 months. Put some lighter fluid in it, played with it and stuff, closed it up. I've carried it on my keychain. I've carried it, hither and yon. It's been hanging around for 6 months. And I figured after 6 months, I'm going to test it. And that was the first test right in front of you right there. And it lit right away. Probably a fair bit of the fluid has evaporated, but if you can ignore it for 6 months and it's still okay, that's pretty decent for 91 cents US. So a very cheap insurance for fire. So what I would suggest is you buy a few of them, keep them in your cars, keep them on your keychain, keep it in a bug-out bag, whatever. It's just a cheap way to keep fire on hand that's easy to start under almost any circumstances. Wet, dry, windy, whatever. You've got a few different things. Even if the fire runs, even if the fuel runs out, you've still got a striking stick and a ferro rod to do a little bit of spark making. All in a tiny little package, easy to keep handy. 91 cents. I'll put a link in the description below for you to be able to get one of these yourself. Yes, whenever you buy from GearBest, if you use my links, I get a tiny commission. I'll probably get 1 cent off of this. Hey, every penny helps. I work really hard to save my money. So thank you so much for buying one of these. Well, if you think you could use one of these or 2 of these or whatever, each of us is different. Our circumstances are not the same. I'm not saying you should get one of these. But if this would meet any of your needs or suit any of your circumstances, there's a solution for you that will not break your bank. I wouldn't use this as my primary system. Good insurance though. Secondly, I'll show you this thing. This is from EDC Gear. It's another fire making product. All 3 of my products today are fire making products. This was, I think, $3.57 US to get one of these. It's got a, I'll bring it nice and close. Hopefully it'll zoom, it'll focus. That is a compass. It doesn't work. So the compass, cheap garbage, doesn't work. Not a big deal. But if you unscrew the lid here of this compass, inside is a little bit of cotton right there. Look at that. So you can take that bit of cotton out. You can have it soaked in Vaseline or whatever. There's your emergency fire starter right there. The material. You might only need to start 1 fire to save your life, and that's enough to help get you started. And what else do we have in here? Well, you open up the middle section here, and you've got a ferro rod. And if you open up the other section back here, you've got the striker. So ferro rod, striker, and you've got your Vaseline impregnated or whatever, your soaked cotton there. and then you do your striking. I'm not going to do it in the house and make a big mess and a stink. My wife's gone for a little while, but I don't want to stink up the place. And yeah, I did soak mine in kerosene instead of in Vaseline, and it's starting to make a stink here already, so I better put it away soon. But yeah, you just strike that, the paint comes off, and you make yourself a big spark. You've got yourself fire for less than $4 US. That is good insurance, if you ask me. You've got a fairly good ring there to, once it focuses, you got a fairly good ring right there for it to put onto your keychain or whatever, and it'll be ready to go when you need it. Just don't, and there's even O-rings on there to keep this all sealed up, waterproof and sealed tight. Very light little thing. I'll tell you what the weight is on the bottom of the screen right here. It's a very little light thing to add to your keychain, and it has another third use. You've got yourself a little persuader right there if you need to, hit a pressure point, touch a pressure point on somebody or something. You just never know when you need something like this. Aluminum, light, fire. The third fire product that I want to share with you is this. And I don't remember if it came with this split ring or not, because I've had this for quite a long time. I might have just taken one of my own split rings from a keychain. And it's a big canister, a nice fat O-ring there to seal it off. It comes with a spare O-ring that's tucked in the lid right there. You can just leave it there until you need it. And then here's the container, and inside we have matches. We also have a spare striking surface, but on the back of the container there's also this striking surface there. So, and I'm not going to strike these matches here either, just because I don't want to make fire inside the house. What I would highly, highly recommend if you get a solution like this is test your matches. And if the matches that come with this little kit aren't that great, swap them out. Buy some matches, get the best matches you can get. And there's so much room in here, you can fit all kinds of other things as well. You get lots of those little Ziploc bags, tiny Ziploc bags, they come with all kinds of stuff, but you can even go to Amazon or whatever and buy tiny Ziploc bags too. And fill this up with little tinder, little cotton with soaked with Vaseline or whatever, and wrap it all up, stick it in there, or maybe buy another one of these containers and put a fishing kit in it, or a sewing kit, or all kinds of stuff. You close it up, and the O-ring will keep it sealed, and there you go. If it's a little big to put on a keychain, some guys might not mind having this on a keychain. But with this kind of system, you could hook them all over the place, hook them onto your bug out bags, whatever. And it's very, very useful for making fire. So there you go, 3 solutions for making fire, all of which are really, really cheap. This thing's $3.57. This thing's 91 cents. And this thing is $5.71 US. Pretty cheap insurance if you ask me, because if you need fire, if your life depends on fire, hey, your life depends on it, and you're going to want to have stuff available with you that doesn't take up a lot of space, that's easy to carry around, and can save your life and the lives of people around you. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for clicking like. Thank you for sharing. And if you know anybody else who's into knives, because that's mostly what this channel is about, please let them know about Canadian Cutting Edge, and let them know about the giveaway video that's going on right now. If you're watching in the middle of March 2017, I've got a giveaway right now until the 20th of March that GearBest is sponsoring. Giveaways for some expensive knives, a $100 knife and some other cheaper knives. And remember to always cut towards your chum, that is the other guy, and not your thumb.